We back now. We back. We're back. Let's get to the video, man. That boy Kenny got some. He got some. He got some goodness going on. God damn! Spit that shit out. Spit that shit out.
All right, y'all. Can we talk about NBA misses? Because y'all know my full-time job is to talk NBA basketball. In that, you got to give opinions. You got to get takes, and nobody is shooting 100%. I made this tweet a few weeks back that says, always tough when you have to come to the realization that a young player you like just isn't good. I got my fair share of these guys. So I want to look at all the replies. I tweeted this not really recognizing that it would go viral in NBA Twitter, 1.3 million views, 400 different comments, and then a bunch of quote tweets and almost 12,000 likes. So I want to see what y'all missed on, and I'll tell you my misses. Starting off with this one by depressed Pelican fan. He said Jordan Hawkins broken heart emoji. I replied to that saying, just hit a big shot. I agree. This is when they were playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves a few weeks back. And I'm be honest with you. Watching Jordan Hawkins in that game was the reason I tweeted this. This video is brought to you by Bombas. Bombas is a premium basics brand with a mission to help people in need. In 2013, the owners found out when it comes to homeless shelters, the thing that people ask for the most is just socks. So they made it their mission to help. Every time you buy something from Bombas, something is donated to those people in need. It's not the first or the last time Bombas is sponsoring a video because I am a firm believer of their products. In my household, we have outside shoes and house shoes. And for a few years now, my house shoes has been Bombas. These black ones have been the ones I've been rocking for quite some time. I don't want to put them on camera for too long because they get daily use, so they may not look as good a year and some chains into it, but I promise you they feel as soft today as they did when I first bought them. The slippers are the thing that I love the most, but they also have socks, they have underwear, they have t-shirts, all premium. Feel good and do good with Bombas because you know that your purchase is doing real good. Be sure to hit the link in the description, use code Kenny20 to get 20% off your first purchase with Bombas. It is holiday season and Bombas is the perfect gift. Jordan Hawkins was one of my favorite prospects in this draft. Obviously, he wasn't a highly touted one. I try my very best to not just say like, oh, the first overall pick guy is going to be good, but try to find people that's a little bit deeper cut. Jordan Hawkins had just won a natty at UConn, and at the bare minimum, like I didn't think he had superstar potential, even all-star potential, but at the bare minimum, he looked like a player that will be able to play in the NBA for a very long time because the jump shooting was so pure. And I do want to say it ain't over for a lot of the guys we mentioned today. These guys are all really young. Jordan Hawkins himself is only 23 years old, but he is a guy that came to mind when I made this tweet. I need him to be successful because Jordan Hawkins is my boy, you know what I'm saying? But his last year in college, his sophomore year in college, he shot 40% from the field. We're going to round up for you. Well, this isn't his entire college career, but he shot 40% from the field his last year and 38.8% from three on about 8 attempts at the college level. That's pretty good. So in my mind, at the bare minimum, with the frame of 6'5", skinny guy, 6'5", 185, that he would be able to just get NBA PT off the fact that he is a good shooter. He's got to the NBA,
he got the
and his
size.
first year was pretty promising. 36% from three. He played 17.
I can see why, because he does have the size. He does have the size and the prototypical they looking for nowadays, like a 1 to 2 guard. But his dribbling's always been trash to me. That's just me being honest about that.
Minutes per, he averaged about 8 minutes. Second year, the efficiency dropped a little bit, but his shots jumped up, so no big deal. Now this year, he's only playing 14 minutes per game. Last night, he played 1 minute in a garbage time game. 4 minutes a game before that, 14 a game before that. And it got bad that Bryce McGowan's, who just got signed to the team not too long ago, has jumped him in the rotation.
Jumped him?
And it just, I don't know, I'm rooting for bro because, again, I need him to be good just because I really am a fan of his. But if he's not going to be able to make his three-point shots, which he hasn't been able to do really at the NBA level, 36% the first year, 33% the second year, and then 33% this year, he just doesn't have enough redeeming factors. Also, as a huge fan of the team he got drafted to, right? Zion. Man, Zion needs some shooting like Jordan Hawkins.
That's right.
And obviously they haven't, well, Zion doesn't really play, but he hasn't been able to find that necessarily. And I think what bothers me the most out of this, and I can't act like I was a guy that watched his entirety of his sophomore year at UConn. It is the shot diet with the inefficiencies. You can't be a long mid-range shooter without hitting long.
I want to fact check this. Is Zion out again? Let me see something. Zion. Y'all finna watch this shit. Let me move it over. Okay. We finna look this up. We finna look this shit up right here, right now. Okay, Zion injury. He's injured right now. Fuck, that shit say grade 2 hip abductor strain. Let me go. I don't know. Okay, boom. It said hip abductor strain involves. It said involves injury to the outer hip buttocks muscle, like gluteus medius and minimus. What the fuck, minimus, causing pain on the side of the buttocks. Has a difficulty walking and limping, and the pain on the side, pain with side leg lips. So when he lift his leg, he's grits. It hurts. Okay. They say often from overuse or trauma treated with rest, ice, compression, elevation. In physical therapy, while hip flexor strains affect the front of the hip with similar symptoms and are located differently. Let's get more into this. Okay. Symptoms. Pain on the outer hip deep in the buttocks, worse than lying on the side or sitting. A feeling of hips swinging out when walking, abnormal gout. Gout, I don't know how to say that shit. Weakness or difficulty lifting the leg on the side. Pain during activity like running, squatting, or climbing chairs. Overuse. Repeated Okay. Alright, Zion. I don't know.
Long mid-ranges. If you're going to be a long mid-range shooter, you have to be DeMar DeRozan. You have to be Brandon Ingram. You have to be these dudes that make it worth it, because at the end of the day, in 2025, 2026, that's just not a valuable shot for a role player.
That's
40% on long middies, which is fine. It's league average, but it's not good enough. And he doesn't get to the rim. It's just not a lot of greatness. And it's frustrating because, boy, let me show you his shot. His shot is so pure. I'm so lucky to be able to just type in Jordan Hawkins jump shooting and just have every jump shot he's ever taken in his NBA career just sitting right here. But he just look how pure. I mean, you've probably seen Jordan Hawkins play, but for the people that haven't, look how pure he is right here on this left wing right there, number 24. Give me one, Jeremiah. Boom. That's just a pure looking jumper. I know that brick, but that's kind of the way it's been for him. It's just so pure that it don't make sense to me that it don't go in. So that was a miss on my part. But we still rooting for you. The next big reply, unfortunately, comes from Automatic NBA that puts the 3-minute highlight reel of Rob Dillingham. Funny enough, again, when I make this tweet, I'm watching the Pelicans versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, and Rob Dillingham comes to mind as well. Now, it is unfair to put a second year, I mean, maybe even unfair to put a third-year player like Jordan Hawkins, but it's extremely unfair to put a second-year player into these conversations because there's so much time for Rob Dillingham to become good. But he has to climb the biggest mountain of all time to be like a real NBA player to make him as valuable as the Minnesota Timberwolves had him when they traded for him on draft night. I think we all like Rob because when he is hooping, at least, before the NBA, his highlight reel could be crazy. It's Rob's with the shifts, you know what I'm saying? That guy, he's really about that. But it's just so much harder when you have the frame that he has. Let me show you something that blew my mind a few weeks back. Rob Dillingham is listed at 6'2", 175. 6'2", 175. That's from Basketball Reference. I'm going to compare him, that 6'2", 175, to De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is listed at 6'3", 185. 1 inch taller, 10 pounds heavier. 1 inch taller, 10 pounds heavier. Got me? A little while ago, those two teams played against each other. The Spurs played against the Timberwolves.
Screen recorder, video recorder.
Timberwolves. I forget who won this game, actually. I remember it coming down to the wire, but off the top of my mind, I can't remember who won. So, turnover by Rob Dillingham. Rob picks up De'Aaron Fox. Why? Look, he's going to take him to the post because he's a baby. Why does 1 inch of height and 10 pounds look so much different? Now, again, Rob is in his defensive stance a little bit, so, he's leaning over. But he just looks even so much smaller than the dude that's supposed to be 1 inch taller and 10 pounds heavier. And if De'Aaron Fox is making you look that small, which is what he is, then I just don't see how you would be able to be on a court in the playoffs where it's all matchup based and for you to be successful unless your offensive upside is ridiculous. Trae Young made it work because Trae Young in 2021 was one of the best systems in all of basketball. So yeah, we try to hide him on defense and teams are hunting him, but damn it, we can still win ball games with him on the court because his offense is so crazy. Rob Dillingham doesn't have the luxury of that offense, and he's also that small. Like he's like the smallest dude in the NBA, man. And it's hard to play this physical sport where it's all about matchups in 2025 when you are that small. And that's just a regular season game. I could go through and find the footage of other games he's played more recently where teams have done something very similar, will put him into a ton of actions. And this is regular season ball where, of course, teams want to win, but it's not like the postseason where the whole goal is to scheme up against the opposing team. You know, last year he didn't play in the playoffs. This year they may, depending on how this trade deadline and stuff goes, they may need him to play. And hopefully he proves me wrong, right? Because, I want these guys to be successful, but it's hard to really see. And maybe I need to learn more Rob Dillingham after the damn reports about the Timberwolves being interested in Kobe White. What else does that trade look like? I don't know. Another one came up was from Danny K, who said, so insane to peak the first 2 weeks of your rookie year, talking about Chris Duarte, this is such a crazy graphic when you think about Evan Mobley having a DPOY, Scotty Barnes being an all-star, Franz Wagner being on his way to an all-star game before his injury, and Jalen Green he could get buckets. And then Chris Duarte, who's out of the league, like he was on the Bulls last year at the end of the season, but nobody else picked him up. And for the first 2 weeks of his NBA career, he was leading the rookie ladder. We should have known, right? It was like, let me go look at these stats again from the first 2 weeks. Because if I remember correctly, he was shooting it ridiculous. Right now he's playing in the Spanish league. So shout out to him. Oh my God, bro. So his first, let's say, 9 games of his career, he was averaging 17 points per game. He was shooting 43% from 3 on 6 attempts. That should have been all we needed to know to say, like, yeah, this guy's not really like that. And remind you, he was a 13th overall pick. It ain't like the 4th overall pick coming in and spazzing the start where you like have some level of belief because he was a 4th overall pick. No, it was the number 13 pick who, if I'm not mistaken, came in old as well. How old was Chris Duarte? He was 24. He was the age Anthony Edwards is today, his first game of his NBA season, or his NBA career. So we should have just known. But some of us was like, oh, those numbers look too good. I wasn't one of them guys that thought he was about to be a star. But I was like, oh, that's a real NBA player. Now, these 3, back to back, are people that I believed in. The first one being from Pacers Enjoyer that says his name rhymes with Waris Joker, talking about Jarris Walker, who I had a lot of stock in. He was one of my favorite rookies in his class. I thought what he did at Houston was basically everything you kind of need at the NBA level. Defend a good amount, be able to get to the basket, 3-point shot okay enough. And I thought for sure that he was going to come into the NBA and not immediately be impactful, but eventually one day. And I still held that stock into coming into the season. Halliburton being gone, Miles Turner being gone. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for Jarris to go out there and show that he's worthy of a second contract. And then we get to, 12 games into the season, and they signed a guy named Jeremiah Robinson Earl. The Pacers had so many injuries. They signed a guy, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, to be on the team. And I ain't think nothing of it until I loaded into their next game. And Jeremiah Robinson Earl off the streets was starting over Jarris Walker.
Oh, I do have a studio. Look, it's literally band live on my phone.
What is that?
And I got it on sale on Black Friday.
They picked that nigga for the local, but for drugs and stuff. They say. You like nigga ever like playing basketball?
The one thing Jarris Walker has is that the catch and shoot 3-point shot looks cool, but everything else, he looks checked out, and that's just not good. Because this is your time where a guy like Benedict Mathurin is showing you that you need to come out there and prove it, because this team has some big decisions, right? How do we acquire a new center? I mean, if they don't look at me as part of the future, then damn it, I might be packing my bag. So I need to play well enough this season. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually when the Pacers do get that center, maybe I guess it's rumored to be maybe Zubats or something. If they go out there to get a Zubats or somebody else that Claxton, or not Claxton, or maybe it is Claxton. But a guy like Jarris Walker is a name that's thrown into them trades because he hasn't showed enough to make you feel like he shouldn't be in a trade like this. Everybody else above him from that position between Pascal and Obi, you just value more, even if he is, 4 years younger than Pascal Siakam. I don't know what that number is. But yeah. The next one, actually, Nikola Jovic, I like fake believe in it. It was one of the things where, like, you know, if you have friends that watch hoops as well or care about basketball, they may have opinions about players. And a lot of the guys on the panel of numbers on the board were big Nikola Jovic guys, and I never really saw it too much. But it was like I was influenced by them enough to be like, yeah, Nikola Jovic. Then he got a little bit of a bag, and it's like, oh yeah. And then he's like out of the rotation. This is just out. And then the last one, and this little stretch here being Ingram the GOAT, can he finally realize that Patrick Williams isn't good? Well, buddy, I figured that out pretty early in his career. But it's got to the point now where it's like, he is the worst. I'm being hyperbolic here, but he is one of the worst, like, true rotational players in the NBA. And we still got, 3 more years of his contract before anything?
I agree with that statement. Niggas buns, bro. Fuck what they thinking. Like,
it's like we say the NBA doesn't have untradeable contracts because even the most untradeable contracts, you tax a pitch to it, some team be interested. Patrick Williams feels like an untradeable contract, y'all. He doesn't do anything.
nobody wants.
He's like, I call him almost man. He almost made a good possession there, or almost made a good play right there. He almost made the right pass. He almost didn't travel when he was getting to the basket. And then he is also a guy that he also is a guy that's not there for the second move defensively. I don't know how to explain it. You have to watch Bulls basketball to really understand what I'm talking about. And this team sucks at rebounding. And the amount of times I've seen Patrick Williams be torch the ball on a rebound and not jump blows my mind. I've known he's been bad for some time, but bad is relative. He's terrible now. He was bad then. He's terrible now. And thank God the brother don't got social media, because I feel like his comment section would be crazy with Bulls fans because he has been bad. And I've said it before, when you are a team that does not have a superstar or struggling to find a superstar, or a team that won't be out there to go trade for Luka Doncic or sign a guy or have Kevin Durant have you on his list of teams you want to get traded to, missing in the draft can set your team back like 3 to 5 years. You jump up in the lottery to the 4th pick in 2020.
Badly.
And you draft a guy who averaged 9 points per game in college while coming off the bench. He couldn't dribble then, can't dribble now. He didn't rebound then, he don't rebound now. He kind of looked like Kawhi Leonard on the court, and that was the reason he got drafted 4th. That's crazy to me. So because we missed that one, and I've told this story before, Tyrese Halliburton thought he was going to be drafted number 4, by the way. I had did all my research on Denny Abdia, thinking that he was about to get drafted at 4. We go get a guy. Go look at my draft day reaction to us picking Patrick Williams, and you can see it in my eyes. Like, I ain't believing none of that. So, yeah, I've been known that he's not good. But I do, while we're here on the Bulls, and this is not a Bulls channel, but damn it, that's my favorite team. Derek Queen has been hooping. Shout out to my boy D Queen. It's early, before the season started, I made a podcast episode where I was talking about how Joe Dumars was crazy for trading that pick for Derek Queen. It wasn't about Derek Queen. It never was about Derek Queen. But Derek Queen saw that because he follows me on Instagram, and he wasn't a fan of that, which I understand. Like, if I was a player, I would probably feel the same way. You telling me that dude made a bad trade when he traded for me, that must mean you think I'm ass. And that's never been the case. I still don't think that trade's been amazing, right? They have the second worst record in basketball. So obviously, but Derek Queen is hooping enough that, like, the pendulum has swung slightly in the direction of, okay, it all depends on what that pick ends up being at the end of the day. Anyway, a couple days ago, I make this tweet. Derek Queen has a 30-point triple-double in the game. I think they lost that game, too. Yeah, I'm almost positive they lost that game. And I tweet this. The 11th overall pick, the Portland Trailblazers officially drafted Cedric Howard. They traded him away to the Grizzlies and, whatever. 12th overall pick ends up being Noah Singay, who has played 4 minutes in his NBA career. And then Derek Queen at 13. I tweet this out of frustration, right? Cedric Howard was literally my number 1 guy for the Bulls, like my Bulls big board, because I knew I couldn't get Dylan Harper, you know what I mean? My Bulls big board, and he got drafted 1 pick before us. And then obviously Derek Queen is playing so well, and I'm like frustrated that my rookie, Noah Singay, has played 4 minutes and won't be able to play for the rest of the season. People saw this as like me slighting Noah Singay. But guess what? Brother, I need Noah Singay to be good, damn it. I'm not out on Noah Singay. But it's more of the frustration of watching the 2 rookies drafted before and after be so damn good that there's a ton of pressure. Unfortunately for Noah, it's a ton of pressure for Noah to be great. Not just because of people that was drafted above him or right 1 pick behind him, but also because, as Joe Dumars has told us, he called every team between 8 and 13 to get the Derek Queen pick. Right? The Bulls turned down the trade that the Atlanta Hawks accepted, the unprotected Pelicans pick. So not only do you have to be great because the guy drafted after you looks like a great offensive system, because there is a world where the Bulls say yes to that trade, and we have pick number 22 instead of pick number 12, and we also have a top 3 pick this season from the Pelicans. That's all. No, baby, we need you to be great. I watched some G League games. I literally watched him. I didn't see highlights. I literally watched him in the G League live because I need him to be great. And he looked good. Foul rate still look good. But he is now behind in his development by a year because he's going to have shoulder surgery. So a guy that was already the youngest dude in the NBA and already a super young prospect is losing basically an entire 9 months of progression while the rest of his peers are playing basketball.
I definitely have a soft spot for super simplified Thanksgiving side dishes, and that would be these big goat cheese and...
I ain't gonna lie.
It's not the greatest start. That's all. And I'm taking this responsibility for the misinterpretation of this tweet because I didn't add any context. I literally just tweeted it. Now, if I add that full context, I'm sure people wouldn't be upset about it, but I didn't add context, so I'll take my L. Back to the players that we believed in and didn't end up working. Nail said I was all in on Jared Culver. I couldn't get behind that one, my brother. I'm always afraid of a guy that has a really good tourney run and then his stock jumps up so much. I never thought he was about to be great. And he was out of the league really, really fast, man. Oh, we got to football Twitter. Oh, snap, bro. I defended this guy like he was the next Messi. Even changed my password to his name. I had hope for him and he fell off. I don't even know who that brother is. And the thing about soccer, I can't Google it. He don't have a jersey number. I see it as Man U, but how would I find out who that is? But I guess he fell off according to Charles. He got 6 replies. See what they saying to Charles. Wasn't expecting to come on this app and talk. Oh, that's his name. Got it. Real ball knowledge. Finally, someone gets it. United has a bunch of such guys who sold dreams. Chris Eagle. I remember when I was really into soccer. I need to hop back in, bro, because soccer was a super fun phase for me. It's a fun ass sport, but I just obviously my job is my job, so I don't really be having a lot of time like that. Ooh, GG, man. Thought GG. I think he meant GG. Oh, GG stand for Greg? Oh my God, yeah, it does. Okay. Thought Greg would be a star. I can't say I agree, but I do be looking at like those dudes that are highly touted coming out of high school. May not have the greatest college career and fall in the draft. I be liking taking swings on those dudes. And they did that without having to do it with a lottery pick or whatever. So when his first season, when he was, playing for that really bad team and creating for himself and all of that, he looked really good. But there's something about his game that the lack of structure is beneficial to him. And I feel like that might be the case for a lot of these guys we believe in, that brother can hoop mentality. A lot of times you add that structure to it, it ends up falling apart. I vividly remember that one game in college. Again, I'm not a super big college basketball person. One game in college, he must have got benched by his coach or something. Something happened. He didn't get the last shot, and he went into the locker room and went on Instagram Live immediately after the game. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about bro. He's super young. He was super young. He was like 17 years old. He reclassified, so we should have gave him benefit of the doubt. But I immediately remember I don't like that. Somebody said Matisse Thybulle. Man, Matisse Thybulle made an all-defensive team, bro. That's kind of crazy to think about. Who the hell is this? Who is this? Oh,
This is my boy.
it literally says bowl is different. I'm dumb. I thought that said bro is different. Bowl is different. I can't say I was a big bowl guy. But I understand it. I understand the hype, considering what he looked like in high school.
Sure.
They did him dirty by giving him a draft day green room invite. Crazy for that. And he fell all the way to where he fell to. Let's do a couple more. A lot of this that I'm looking at it's really just if I look at a name and then I look over at your profile, most of the people, me included, like you just saw, most of these are people seeing their front office draft somebody, then having to convince themselves that guy will be good. It's like the blind faith we have in our front offices. This guy said Carson Edwards was supposed to be the next Steph Curry. No, he wasn't. And I liked Carson Edwards, but I didn't think he was an NBA player. Definitely not no next Steph Curry. How many people agree with that? 24? Man, I need y'all to scout the other 29 teams so my team can get the best pick. Some of these replies are kind of crazy because I guess it depends on your perspective what the word good means. Because some names in here are good basketball players, maybe not great basketball players. And you may have thought they were going to be a superstar, right?
Carson Edwards.
Because I'm seeing names of like players that
Carson
will be
Edwards?
10-year vets, like that will have long NBA careers. Man, it's a lot of Scoot Hendersons in there. Damn, I still have some Scoot Henderson stock, man. I still got some Scoot Henderson stock. I won't sell it just yet. I need to see him play at least 30 games this year before I sell that stock. But it looked like the front office might be selling that stock too, considering all the guards they've acquired about over the last year. Okay, I think we've been going for a long time. I'll end it there. Shout out to all the guys we mentioned. Again, no bad blood, nothing but love and hope for all of y'all. I want everybody to eat. I want you to eat as well. Leave a like, subscribe. Yeah.
Shout out that boy Kenny, man. Shout out that boy Kenny. You know he be coming through with the takes. A lot of his takes I agree with. I feel like a lot of what he said is truthful. The Singate pick, the boys is always trying these fucking projects instead of just going with like, we'll get great picks. Fantastic picks. And the boys want to just like do all these fucking experiments instead of going after what specifically they know will work for us. That's all I'm saying. I'm like, just go with what you know gonna work. These motherfuckers want to try this, try that, try. It's like, come on, bruh. Like, come on, bruh. Like, what the fuck is y'all doing right now? But yeah. Shout out y'all. Number one, not number two. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed night. I got a couple more coming on the road, you know. But love, live, laugh, all that goodness. We gonna be back soon, man. Love y'all, man. Stay easy.